Considerations for perinatal and home visitation staff, navigating CUES conversation about adverse childhood experiences and intimate partner violence. Brought to you by Futures Without Violence. Many home visitation and perinatal case management programs are recognizing the importance of engaging dads. In some circumstances, dad may be the primary caregiver of their children and the target of your programming. Regardless of whether your program focuses on dads, involving the whole family in conversations about adverse childhood experiences and complicated relationships is a powerful strategy. As you are watching, notice the way the home visitor begins with the positive. Unfortunately, many of us have been taught to focus on deficits and to see families through the lens of problems, not strengths. It's a big thing to change our work to see people as whole beings. What you will see in this video is the home visitor using Futures Without Violence's evidence-based intervention called CUES. The C stands for confidentiality, sharing the extent and limits of confidentiality with your families before talking about complicated relationships so they understand what to expect. The U in CUES stands for universal education, meaning we talk with all families about healthy and unhealthy relationships. We start with the positive, focusing on the You Matter panel of the card about deserving respect. From there, we focus on the complicated relationships panel of the card. We normalize how common complicated relationships are by naming behaviors such as being hurt emotionally or physically without using terms like domestic violence that can be stigmatizing. We do this intervention with all families, including everyone in the home, unless a gut check suggests this would not be safe. The E in CUES stands for empowerment. We always give multiple copies of the card to honor our clients as partners in helping support others in our communities. The S stands for supports. As you can see, the back of the card includes the National Domestic Violence Hotline, a place to get help if you are being harmed or want help for yourself to stop causing harm. By doing this CUES intervention, we move from the very tiny number of disclosures you currently get to making sure all of your families have access to valuable resources to help themselves and others. Notice in this video the way the home visitor draws the whole family into the CUES conversation.
So, how you been?
How you been, my man?
Good, I've been good. Thank God he was right, because she started sleeping solid 4 to 5 hours at a time. So.
No, that's something to celebrate. Yeah. Now, how about your sleep? Still a little rough?
Oh, no, I actually been better. So, yeah.
There she is.
Hi, Cedric. How you doing?
Hey, good to see you.
It's so good to see you.
It's good to see you, Miss Duplessis. Good to see you too, Miss Cerise. I see you. Perfect timing, you guys coming in right now. I got something new I want to show your family.
Okay, come on in.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, here we go. Yeah. He's getting good. Here you go.
Okay.
And one for Cerise, too.
All right.
It's a little brochure called Connected Parents, Connected Kids. It got started by case managers and families. And it's a way for us to have more realistic conversations with people who are struggling for support. I gave you all copies because relationships can change. You may know someone who's having a hard time and needs support with their relationship or with parenting.
This is good. We were just learning about this kind of stuff with my school nurse. It was at an assembly.
Well, they sure didn't touch on this when I was in school, so.
Yeah, it was like that for me too. It would have been helpful too, because the way I grew up, well, it was complicated.
I hear you.
Yeah, and it's like that for a lot of folks too. So as we get started, we start on this panel right here that says, You Matter. I don't believe we celebrate parents enough. Parents rarely get praise. And I see what you're doing here as a dad, Richard.
Thank you.
Part of celebrating parents is looking at what helps their relationships. Things like caring, support, kindness, respect for your parenting and your needs. It's like maybe people who grew up hard only know the opposite of that, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does. And bless you for focusing on the good. Well, when the kids were younger, they were always telling me, do this, not that, or don't do that and do this, and I just felt like they weren't really seeing me.
Thank you for that, Ms. Duplessis. And yeah, we often focus on the problem or what was hard. We don't hold up our strengths. We want to focus our time together on what your family agrees will help you all heal and grow. We know that you're the expert in your life. Who knows you and your family more than you? We support you by listening. What is it that you would like? How can we be of more support? How can we remove barriers?
Yeah, I'm just so appreciative to have you, Cedric. Like, I don't know how the young dads do it because raising my baby girl has been like the hardest thing I've ever done, so thank you.
You're a good dad, son. A good one. Just like Cedric here.
I appreciate that. I do. Think about it. Who do dads have to go to talk about complicated relationships? Now, when my babies were little, they didn't have nothing like this for dads. So I love doing this, partially because I wish I had had it. I'd like to talk to you a little bit more about this card, if that's okay. Okay. So we look at this panel right here. This panel lays out what we all know. Who hasn't had complicated relationships? Maybe this includes yelling, physical or emotional hurts, things we all deserve support for. On the back, there's a 24/7 free anonymous hotline for people who are having a rough time or issues with their relationship. It's also for people who are looking for support and want to figure out how to change or handle things differently. And for those being harmed and have questions and concerns about their relationships. They could call for advice or help at any time, and you don't have to wait until you're in crisis. Like Therese, if you had a friend that was having a hard time and you wanted to know how to help her, you could call them and ask for ideas.
Yeah, I didn't know there was something like that. We did not learn about this at the school assembly.
My dad was real hard on me. I had to watch a lot of the stuff he did to my mom, so he left after Therese was born. And I plan on making things a lot different for my baby girl.
Yes, and we have changed. And you aren't like your dad one bit, son.
Thank you, Mom.
Anything you notice on the card that stands out?
I like this panel of the card, Strong Families. Talks about what to do when you get in your feelings and how to cool off when you're upset. That is something that helps everyone.
Exactly. Because when you feel something bubbling up, it can help to deal with it right away. Learn how to take breaks when things get challenging or tough with each other or a girlfriend or whatever, or maybe even when you're frustrated with baby girl. Noticing how you feel and knowing you don't have to automatically react is key. The faster that you notice that you're feeling frustrated, upset, or angry, the faster you can turn it around. I use this with my wife and kids all the time. It can help all of us.
Oh, this is good, Cedric.
Glad it could be useful, my man. Now, let's talk about how that car seat is going and what new milestones you can be helping baby girl achieve.
At the outset of this video, we asked you to notice what stood out to you. Hopefully, you noticed how powerful it can be to have a male home visitor as a new father. Perhaps you also noticed the home visitor sharing just a bit of his personal story in service of supporting this family, making it okay to talk about something hard. Or maybe you noticed the power of multi-generational conversations about where to go to get information on how to help someone struggling in their relationship. At its best, CUES drives and supports conversations that many families have never had before. It opens the door for prevention and earlier interventions and helps to stop intergenerational trauma. It's a big thing to see people as whole beings and not a list of problems. For more information and resources, visit www.futureswithoutviolence.org. This video was written and directed by Rebecca Levinson and produced by Futures Without Violence. Production and post-production services provided by Stream It Right LLC.